Yo, what's up, guys? What's going on? How the heck are you guys today? It's a great day to have a good day, guys. It's Monday. You guys know I love my Mondays. How the heck is everybody? How's everybody feeling? Fantastic weekly close. Above the 50 week. Couldn't be more bullish, guys. Couldn't be more bullish. Government's opening up. More rate cuts coming. Stimulus coming. like a week ago, everyone was in panic mode, right? It's amazing how fast these markets can turn around. I hate to say a toe-to-so, but a freaking toe-to-so, right? We got some super chats. Big Kev, can you look at the M2 as it pertains to Bitcoin? Thanks for everything. I suppose we could do that. I reckon we could do that. All right. So we're on the weekly here. Still. Bitcoin's looking good, man. Looking good. Let's go. Let's recover. I want to see a move up, up, up. Let's go to the daily time frame first of all. All right, we're on the daily, and let's go to the M2. Boom. All right. We haven't looked at the M2 in a little bit here. So, as you can see, look at this. Look at this. Oh, wait, what day are we on? We're on the 90-day. Let's check out the 70. The correlation differs depending on your time frame, right? So that's the thing of it. All right. So as you can see, we have definitely gone into a decorrelation phase. But as we always say, the M2 or Bitcoin and the M2 always recouple. If we zoom out, all right. Sheesh, man. Sheesh. Right? Look at that. So we will recouple eventually. Eric, Nakamoto Games down hard due to exchange delistings, buying opportunity. Actually, Eric, before I went live, I looked that up. They're not being delisted. That's misinformation. People need to understand the difference between a spot delisting and a futures delisting, right? A futures delisting simply means that they're not the exchange is not making a lot of money because a lot of people are not leverage trading that product. So they delist it from futures trading. That in no way, shape, or form has any effect at all whatsoever on spot listings. Does not mean that the people cannot still buy Nakamoto games on all the exchanges that they're not trading futures on anymore. There is absolutely no correlation whatsoever between a spot listing and a futures listing. Completely different things. People need to understand these things. There has been no spot delistings, zero, for Nakamoto games, nor Miria. So I hope that's clear. It seems like every other day I have to clarify that. I hope it's clear this time. William, what's up, buddy? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. What else do we have? Danny, what's up, man? Come in to like and comment. I'll have to watch later. Hey, absolutely, brother. Thanks for popping in, man. Crypto Big Dog says, let's go, Big Rob. Just a reminder, you're my boy, Blue. You're my boy. There you go. Nick, what's up, buddy? If at first you don't succeed, join Rob and get filthy stinking rich. Let's go, baby. Kizza, what's up, man? Hey, Rob, how's it going? How much chop sideways action do you reckon we're going to have over the coming weeks? Maybe next week we might see a little bit of choppiness, but as we've seen before, if we go back and we look at the weekly time frame, right? Whenever Bitcoin hits the 50 week like we did, it moves aggressively to the upside very, very quickly. Very little chop. I guess you could consider this chop, but this is chop in an upward trajectory. This chop lasted for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, let's say 8 weeks from there, right? It went up to wick, 37.39%, even in sideways action, right? So if Bitcoin went up like 37%, that would be like a $154,000 Bitcoin right now or something. So it might not seem like a big move, but it would be very, very nice. Big John, what's up, man? Pre-rich. Absolutely. David, hey, click the likes or all goes down. Yes, we're going to crash into a bear market if you don't hit the like button, guys. AF says, happy Monday, Brother Rob. Thank you so much for looking after us. Everyone like and subscribe and get all the authentic information from the one and only Brother Rob. Absolutely. Yes, guys, hit the like and subscribe. We got 176 people watching. We have 40 likes, guys. Come on. You're doing me dirty here. You're doing me dirty. Jake the Snake says, everyone a week ago, we're so hosed. Everyone now, we're so back. Yes. Paul, good to see you, buddy. Pico's in the house. Now is a perfect time to subscribe to Not Financially Advised. You don't want to miss our full video release on Tuesday. Yes, finally, the first episode is launching for Pico. Episode 1, Not Financially Advised. Hang on a second here. I shall show you. I'll show you. Yes, they're launching. Episode 1 comes out tomorrow. Tuesday. Yep, tomorrow. Episode 1, guys, you're not going to want to miss it. Make sure you subscribe over here. You want to get in from the beginning. This is going to be absolutely epic, in my opinion. Funky says, howdy, howdy. Jake the Snake, what's up, brother? Just bought more XCN and Zivik. Nice. There you go. Dave, what's up, man? Good to see you, brother. Let's go, baby. Absolutely. Benjamin. Hey, Rob, choose the same trade. Choose the same trade you posted today an hour before. Nice, which makes me feel so smart. Should I assume handsome, too? Let's not get crazy or anything here. Gamecast, from here on out, we troll the trolls. Remember this comment, Rob. Exactly. Earth Prospecting, agree 100%. Blessings to you and your family. Thank you, Earth Prospecting. Thank you so much. Oh, House in the House built the first snowman of the year just in time. Well, we don't have any snow yet, but it is freezing, though, where I am. Over the Top, supporting me over on Rumble, guys. Make sure you are subscribing on Rumble. Follow us there as well. My 2 favorite R words, Rob and Rumble. Let's go, baby. If Trump gives that 2K stimmy money, we know where our exit liquidity will be coming from. Yes, Beebs. What's up, brother? Good to see you, man. Rip R. I was the first like. I'd do it again if I could. It's really easy to press the thumbs up button, people. Yes. And it's free. It's free. Bruno says, good afternoon, Rob. Special night. What's the Jasmine coin prediction 2025? 2025. Depends on what happens over the next little while here. If Bitcoin starts going crazy, we could see 7-8 cents, maybe higher. Depends, right? I hate answering questions like that because people ask, they say, hey man, what do you think Jasmine is going to go to by the end of the year? And then I'll say like 7 or 8 cents. And then if it doesn't go, they're like, you freaking said, man. Right? So, yeah. Anyway, we're caught up. Oh, Matt Adam watching over on X. Thank you so much, brother. Yes, make sure you're supporting us on X as well. Follow us there, guys. 100%. Okay, we're caught up in the chat. Let's get into the news, guys. What's going on out there in this crazy crypto world? Let's have a looky-loo. Beeb says, it's a great day to have a great day. Tampa Bay, 61 degrees and sunny. Nice. That's a win right there, brother. All right, so Bitcoin's next move could shock traders if Bitcoin price breaks above $112,000. Bitcoin reclaimed $106,000 on Monday as the U.S. government shutdown appeared to be nearing an end. Analysts had warned that an extended funding halt could further dampen consumption, especially after thousands of flights were canceled. As a tech-heavy Nasdaq index rose 1.5%, the cryptocurrency market followed suit. Traders are now assessing whether Bitcoin's latest gains can hold amid weak demand for bullish positions in Bitcoin's derivatives. 2-month Bitcoin futures currently trade at a 4% premium over spot markets, which is below the 5% threshold considered neutral. The lack of appetite for leveraged long positions likely reflects the $270 million in forced liquidations that occurred between Tuesday and Wednesday. After Bitcoin lost support at $107,000, buyers may need additional confirmation that the economy is indeed entering a recession before re-entering the market. The U.S. Federal Aviation Administration has been forced to scale back domestic operations, leading airlines to cancel more than 5,000 flights, according to Yahoo Finance. Some air traffic controllers who have gone unpaid for nearly a month have stopped reporting for duty, despite the unusual Sunday session in the U.S. Senate. There was still no assurance that the standoff would be resolved. A breakthrough in the government shutdown could strengthen optimism among Bitcoin traders. The U.S. Supreme Court has questioned President Trump's authority to set certain import duties. The uncertainty surrounding both the duration and ongoing government shutdown and the sustainability of additional import tariffs adds another layer of risk. While the short-term economic consequences remain unclear, the overall effect has so far supported the fiscal budget by delaying expenditures and generating extra revenue. Still, Bitcoin is not immune to the broader market concerns about weakness in the U.S. economy. The Bitcoin option skew, or the put call, declined to 6% on Monday, marking the edge of a neutral to bearish market for the first time in November. When traders anticipated a sharp correction, the metric typically jumps to 10% or more, as put or sell options trade at a premium. What might restore traders' confidence as a potential $120,000 rally remains uncertain, but the current setup clearly signals skepticism. Unlike monthly Bitcoin futures, perpetual contracts typically remain closer to a spot Bitcoin price due to their adjustable funding rate. These contracts are the preferred tools for retail traders, making it relevant to assess whether sentiment has improved following Bitcoin's recent retest of the $106K level. Under balanced conditions, the funding rate should range between 6% and 12% to reflect both risk and opportunity costs. The current 5% rate is somewhat troubling, showing a clear lack of interest from retail traders, even after Bitcoin tested the 100K support on Friday. However, this absence of demand for leveraged bullish positions should not be mistaken for an outright bearish sentiment. Fears of excessive valuations in the artificial intelligence sector and weakness in the consumer-focused corporate earnings have led investors to become more risk-averse. The eventual end to the government shutdown could ease tensions and push Bitcoin above 112K, potentially triggering a short squeeze. For now, however, betting on a bullish breakout solely on the shutdown's resolution appears overly optimistic. So, don't count your chickens, but things look pretty good so far. Jared, in the house, appreciate all you do, freaky weirdos, especially our fearless leader. What's going on, brother? Matt's in the house, watching from work. That's what I like to hear, man. Earn that dry powder. Ray, blessings, smash the like. Jay, what's happening, brother? Everybody forgetting this is Trump's baby. His whole family is in. You think he won't make sure this becomes the biggest bull run ever? Exactly. Good way to look at it, brother. Good way to look at it. I agree. Richie Rich in the house, hoping if Mr. T's $2,000 tariff check actually happens, it helps pump the markets. I don't think that happens until like March, though. But it could increase risk appetite beforehand, though. Kind of like buy the rumor, sell the news, right? There she is, the one and only Gamma Goddess in the house. Let's get this money. It's a me, Mario. I'm here, Pencil X. What's good, Senor Rob? 50 push-ups, brother. Bucky says, what's up, man? With the NHL and NBA games tonight that Zebek posted about a while back, you think it will be positive, negative price action? I think it'll be a nothing burger, honestly. I think it'll be a nothing burger. I don't think it'll affect the price at all, really. Ramona says, hit the like button. Absolutely, guys. Smash it, whack it, crack it. Do what you got to do, guys. Do what you got to do. All right, let's get into the next piece. All right. Ramona also says, what do you think about Pico and LFG? You know what? Let me have a look over at the charts. I think that the tokenomics on Pico and LFG are phenomenal. Let's go have a look before we get into this article. Let's have a look, shall we? All right, so looking at Pico, max down, what are we looking at? It is up 9% on the day, 91% on the week. It has been on a firestorm of a run, both Pico and LFG, over the last 3 days. They have been climbing. Yeah, tokenomics are fantastic. 1 billion max supply on Solana. I like it. I dig it. I dig it. They're launching their first episode of their TV show on YouTube is actually launching tomorrow, and it's like a Family Guy type show, so it's going to be a lot of adult humor and stuff like that. You guys make sure you get over there and subscribe. You can get it on Jupiter, Pump.fun, Radium, I believe. So yeah, absolutely, looking super fantastic. All right. Ethereum eyes $4,000 breakout as whales and institutions step in. Ethereum traded higher on Monday, reclaiming $3,600 after a week of volatility across the crypto market. The second largest cryptocurrency is now looking at a possible breakout towards the $4,000 mark, rising around 7% in the past 24 hours. The price recovery in Ethereum comes amid a mix of bullish on-chain activity and cautionary signals from the derivatives markets. According to Fairside data, ETF outflows totaled more than $507 million in early November. Meanwhile, whale accumulation and upcoming network upgrades continue to provide optimism for Ethereum's long-term outlook. According to Arkham Intelligence, large investors stepped in during the correction on November 5th. Tron's founder, Justin Sun, staked 45,000 Ethereum, worth $154.5 million, followed by Fundstrat's Tom Lee, who purchased another $70 million in Ethereum the next day. The renewed whale accumulation aligns with CryptoQuant's data showing record high Ethereum trading volumes on the leading crypto exchange Binance. In 2025, trading has already surpassed $6 trillion, a level 2 or 3 times higher than previous cycles. On top of that, Ethereum open interest has climbed to 12.5 billion, indicating speculative momentum, but also raising concerns of highly leveraged market. According to analyst Martoon, Ethereum's open interest jumped $1.9 billion, or 10.2%, in a single day, a spike historically focused on short-term reversals in 75% of previous cases. The last 3 instances of similar leveraged backups all preceded price pullbacks. This means Ethereum's next move will likely depend on whether leveraged longs can sustain momentum above $3,500, or if the market sees another forced liquidation flush before the next rally. So will we see a long squeeze or maybe a short squeeze? Fresh data from crypto quant analyst Cheyenne Markets indicates a behavioral shift among larger entities. The spot average order size for Ethereum has increased sharply following a recent market shakeout, a metric that historically marks the start of an institutional re-entry and early accumulation phase. During the dip towards 3,200, whales-driven spot activity spiked, a pattern previously observed near local bottoms and late-stage compression phases before major rallies. If the behavior continues and the $3,000 to $3,400 region holds as a structural support, Ethereum could be entering a low volatility accumulation zone, setting up conditions for a final bullish impulse towards $4,500 to $4,800. The Fusaka upgrade set for December 3rd is a major inflection point for Ethereum. Vitalik Buterin, the developer and co-founder of Ethereum, has said that the upgrade is key to Ethereum scaling. Is it going to be a nothing burger, though? That's the question. If the rollout proceeds smoothly, it may spark renewed developer activity and capital inflow into Ethereum's Layer 2 ecosystem, reinforcing its position as a dominant settlement layer in Web3. So Ethereum holding strong, institutions coming back in, big things popping, little things stopping. Let's get back into the chat. Brad says tokenomics are all good in a bull run. Fair enough. Ditto, what's up, man? Good to see you, brother. Cherokee Kid says, nice beard. Thank you so much. Almost Christmas time. Got to get the Santa Claus beard going on, right? Everything's running. What a great time to start a YouTube channel. Okay. I started my YouTube channel 3 years ago, though. Zbeck goes live on Europe's biggest exchange tomorrow. Bitvavo spots. Could we see an injection of liquidity into Zbeck? That would be absolutely tremendous. Super fantastic. All right, back over to Squawk Box. This is a buy the dip market, particularly in AI. Check it out.
Futures higher, especially the NASDAQ this morning, as it looks like the government will reopen. The Senate took the first step towards ending the government shutdown. Joining us now, Ed Yardeni, president at Yardeni Research. I thought about you a couple of times recently, Ed. Number one, I thought about you when we basically were at 6,900 on the S&P, and I was thinking, right. Wow, Yardeni was 7,000, and actually, you think it could even go further than that, maybe by the end of the year. And then I thought about Tom Lee, who said he had similar targets, but said near term, definitely going to be bumpy because of the AI trade, and people were definitely worried about AI. Is that finished, or is there more to come in terms of just that particular sector?
Yeah. Tom and I have basically been looking at the market the same way. And a week ago, when I saw that the bull-bear ratio that Investors Intelligence puts out was over 4, I concluded there are too many bulls. And it looks like we cleaned out some of the bulls last week. But yeah, I think this is kind of a buy in the dip market, particularly in AI. I know there's a lot of nervousness about AI, but that's a good thing. In the late 1990s, when I was around during the bubble, the tech bubble followed by the tech wreck, nobody saw the tech wreck really coming. Nobody was really worried about a bubble in the market that I can recall. Not the way it is today, where everybody seems to be worrying about it. But I think AI is all right. I think it's basically an app that has widespread applications, and what the payoff is actually in the cloud. The cloud providers are making a fortune as a result of AI.
I was thinking that too. That I'm always trying to figure out what the hardest thing to embrace is, because that's always the right thing. You know, when a stock, you feel like you're ready to get sick to your stomach, that's probably when you should buy instead of selling it. It's almost always like that. So my idea is maybe we still don't understand how transformational AI could be down the road, and we could still be it. But we won't know for quite a while. What fascinated me about your comments, Ed, was how strong earnings have been. In fact, you could say that there's a floor underneath this market, not based on multiples expanding, which could happen because of the Fed, but based on the E side of things, much better than people thought.
Yeah, well, you know, I am an economist, but somewhere along the way, I also became a strategist. And I always found economics a little bit difficult because there's so many variables you have to forecast. When it comes to strategy, as you said, it's really PE times E. It should be that simple. And it's very simple to forecast using that model. Getting it right is where the trick is. But on the E side, it's been phenomenal. I mean, you would think that with all the commotion coming out of Washington, the geopolitical commotion, the pressure on margins from tariffs, that this would be a bad year for profits. Actually, it's phenomenal. We're going to have record highs in S&P 500 once again for the third quarter in a row. And the analysts' expectations just keep getting beat dramatically. So, for example, in the current quarter, the current earnings season, analysts expected an increase of about 6.5%. It's coming out 14% on a year-over-year basis. So you're absolutely correct. I think that the earnings are there to keep the market going. And in a sense, we've had an earnings-led melt-up, which is, of course, the kind of melt-up that you really want.
Yeah. It'd be nice if things were based on something like multiple expansions. But what do you have the forward S&P multiple at right now, approximately?
Well, right now the actual forward PE is running around 22 to 23. It's been there on and off. I mean, when we came out of the pandemic lockdown and the Fed came in with its monetary easing to help us get through it all. We saw that the PE zoomed up to 22. And so it took about 6 months to get there. And here we are back at 22. I know a lot of people are uncomfortable with that, but, you know, a lot of that obviously is the Magnificent Seven. They're selling at 30 times forward PE. The S&P 493 is selling at about 1920. That's not cheap, but it's not crazy.
Yeah. So you 7,000 by the end of the year. If you change that you should have stuck to all. Yeah.
No, the basic bottom line of it all is we're in a bull market. It's been a volatile year this year, but at the end of the day, we're at all-time record highs in the market in the past couple of weeks. And yeah, I think there could be a good solid Santa Claus rally. I tend to focus on November and December rather than on the Thanksgiving to Christmas period. And that usually adds about 4 percentage points.
We are in a bull market. Let's go, baby. What do we got here? Lions Den. Rob, are you playing as Ares on the God of War movie? That beard. Nice. Well played, sir. Well played. Strategy and Metaplanet's Bitcoin experiment meets its toughest challenge yet. Toughest test yet. Can Strategy and Metaplanet survive the ETF era where direct Bitcoin access leaves little reason to invest through corporate treasuries? Bitcoin's pullback below $100,000 in early November rattled the corporate balance sheets of its largest public holders, Strategy and Japan's Metaplanet, two companies that build their corporate identity around Bitcoin, now face growing pressure as market sentiment weakens. As of November 10th, Strategy held 641,692 Bitcoin, acquired at a total cost of $47.5 billion, averaging $74,079 per coin. That's their cost average. Led by Executive Chairman Michael Saylor, the company operates more like a Bitcoin investment vehicle than a software firm. The latest purchase, worth $49.9 million, was made today and pushed the firm's total Bitcoin holdings to more than $68 billion at current market value. Metaplanet, listed on the Tokyo Stock Exchange, has undergone a complete transformation since 2024, evolving from a hospitality firm into a corporate Bitcoin treasury. It now holds 30,823 Bitcoin, valued at about $3.23 billion, making it the largest non-US public company holding Bitcoin. Despite their massive holdings, both firms' equities have fallen sharply. Strategy stock trades near $239 as of November 10th, down 55% from a record high of $543 reached a year ago in November of 2024. Metaplanet, after hitting a peak of 1,930 yen in June, what? 1,930 yen. That's not like $5. In 2025 has fallen to around okay, that's what their stock is worth. Never mind. Fallen to around 427 yen. I see. Marking the steep 78% drop within months despite ongoing Bitcoin accumulation. The downturn accelerated during Bitcoin's correlation from its October record near $126,000 to below $100,000 in early November, driven by consecutive days of net outflows from the U.S. spot Bitcoin ETFs. Let's dive deeper into the financial structure of how future Bitcoin price movements could alter their prospects. Strategy and Metaplanet have built financing systems that let them continue buying Bitcoin without depending entirely on their cash reserves. Both raise funds from public markets and channel that capital into expanding their Bitcoin holdings. Strategy uses three main methods to fund its purchases. The first is through common stocks, the regular shares available for trading on the stock market. When the company issues new shares, it receives cash from investors and uses parts of it to acquire Bitcoin. The second method is through convertible notes, which are loans that allow investors to exchange their debt for company shares later, often in the stock price, if the stock price increases. The structure lets Strategy borrow at lower interest rates since investors anticipate potential gains if the stock performs well. The third method involves a newer class of preferred shares called Stretch. A Series A Stretch preferred shares traded under the ticker STRC pay a monthly dividend that can be adjusted based on market demand. The goal is to maintain the share's price near its stated value of $100. Company filings in October showed a 10.50% annual rate for November. These tools provide the firm with flexible funding options. When Bitcoin's price rises, investor sentiment improves. Strategy can issue shares and preferred stock on more favorable terms. When Bitcoin weakens, investors demand higher dividends or lower prices to take on added risk, which raises the company's cost of capital. If the share price also declines, issuing new stocks becomes more dilutive, reducing the ownership stake of existing shareholders. Multiplanet follows a similar model. Company equity sales with debt financing. The management team has set a long-term target of holding 210,000 Bitcoin by 2027. Metaplanet has also created subsidiaries in Japan and the US to bundle its Bitcoin-related operations. In early November of this year, several reports indicate that Metaplanet secured a $100 million loan backed by its Bitcoin holdings. The company pledged part of its Bitcoin as collateral to obtain the loan. If Bitcoin's price falls, the collateral value declines, and lenders may require additional Bitcoin or reduced borrowing, so they would have to put up more Bitcoin as collateral, right? So very risky, guys. Are more people leaning towards buying spot Bitcoin ETFs than they are interested in getting exposure to Bitcoin through these companies like Metaplanet and Strategy, who are just treasury companies at this point, right? It does kind of make sense for these companies to just say screw it, or these entities to just say screw it. I'll just buy spot Bitcoin ETFs through BlackRock or whomever else. So that could spell trouble for Strategy. And listen, in the bear market, if that spells trouble for Strategy, it spells trouble for the price of Bitcoin, because that would mean that Strategy at some point would have to start offloading its Bitcoin. Probably not until a bear market, though. Ty, what's up, man? Reapers in the house, loaded up on Zebek Beg. Nice, there you go. Danny, what's happening, my man? What's happening? All right, so government shutdown update. This is what you've been waiting for.
Right now to break down the latest developments in the government shutdown, Jake Sherman, Punchbowl News' co-founder, an NBC News and MSNBC political contributor. So here we are, perhaps on the cusp of a deal. I want to know what you think the Democrats are going to get for all of this, what you think the Republicans are going to get for all of this, and the way the public is going to think about this when it's all over, if they think about it again at all.
Maybe they won't think about it again at all. The Democrats get nothing. Let's just be clear. They get nothing. They don't get, there's no significant policy wins in this for Democrats. They have been spinning it as, well, they get SNAP for a year. They get to reverse the mass layoffs that the Trump administration has conducted since October, and they forestall any layoffs until through January. First of all, the Trump administration laid people off during the shutdown because the shutdown was ongoing. SNAP is funded because that's what happens when you reopen the government. You fund the agriculture department. So there's nothing. There's no real policy victories at all for Senate Democrats, and it reproves the point, Andrew, that shutdowns, the instigating party in a shutdown never gets anything. Donald Trump learned that in 2018, 2019. House Republicans learned that during their Obamacare shutdowns early in the Obama administration. You don't get anything. Now, Republicans, I will say this is not without risk for Republicans going forward, because they're going to be plunged into a conversation about healthcare, which has never been a winning issue for them. Maybe it changes. I don't know. I can't tell the future, but they will be forced to talk about healthcare, which is not a great topic for them. And these credits are expiring. They are. They're going to expire at the end of the year, and maybe they can find something better. Maybe they can't. But that's the only real risk I see for Republicans, which is a modest risk at that.
But you're going to hear, Jake, about people anecdotally, X, yep. This is what it used to be. This is what it's going to be now, yes, because of and there's maybe pressure to address that at some point. I saw a meme this morning, and you sounded just like it, because it was from G2, and it was a meme where that senator from Nevada was trying to shake down Michael Corleone for a casino license, and he makes unbelievable threats, and then says, "Let me know by the weekend what it is." And Michael Corleone says, "I'll give you my answer right now, Senator. Nothing." And that's exactly how I'll give you, and you're going to pay for the license.
But Jake, the thing that I'm trying to figure out is, do you think that a year from now, come the midterms, that somehow this factors into that discussion?
Midterms are, I don't know.
Does this just go away?
Who's worse off, Schumer or Republicans in the midterms? Neither one looked very like they're in a great position, Jake.
I'll put it this way. In Donald Trump's Washington and Donald Trump's America, 12 months might as well be 12 years. We don't know what we're going to be thinking about, what voters are going to be thinking about next year. Now, the question is, if Joe is right, maybe they will have to fix this. If premiums are up 2x or 3x in some places, who do voters blame? Do they blame Republicans who control all of Washington, or Democrats who put the law into place and folded in the shutdown? I can't tell you the answer to that definitively. A lot of Republicans have told me that they think that they are going to shoulder the blame here. And listen, Trump seems at the moment, again, with Trump, you don't know where it's going to go, but at the moment interested in doing some sort of healthcare effort. I think that is not easy for Republicans. We've seen over the last 15 years, nearly 16 years, Republicans have not been successful in putting out a plan that people can rally around that is as comprehensive as the ACA. And maybe they don't want to. Maybe they'll make changes around the edges. But Joe, you are right. Republicans since October 1st or even before have not moved 1 inch on their position in this shutdown, which is, we're not going to discuss healthcare with the government shutdown, and eventually Democrats are going to fold. And they did. And by the way, it's Monday. Maybe the Senate finishes this today. If they're lucky, they need to get consent from 100 senators. So we're going to go into at least toward the end of the week, middle end of the week, before this is fully resolved, and it will take airports and the rest of society a couple days here to snap back.
Right, Jake, that's the point. This is kind of a forced protest that they have put on all of these government workers, on all of these government aid recipients, saying this is so important to us and we're going to take you along with us. How, not only how long, because this is the longest we've ever done this, what ripple effects last beyond just how long it takes to put society back together? Are there things that will change permanently for this? Are there, just the ripple effects from the air traffic controllers who are in training, who are saying, forget it, I'm not going to do this anymore? Will the government actually act to try and make it a lot tougher for a government shutdown in the future?
They can't make it any tougher, Becky. I mean, there's nothing they could do to make it tougher logistically. I think there's been estimates that GDP is gonna take a hit. Most of the damage, the economic damage from the shutdown, is predicted to reverse. Right? It's predicted to snap back once government coffers are full and the country starts moving again. But listen, this process, this funding bill puts another deadline for most of the government funding on January 30th. So Congress will have just over 2 months to fund the rest of the government on a long-term basis. Right now, what they're basically doing is they're funding agriculture, military construction, and veterans affairs, and the legislative branch through the fiscal year. The rest of the government needs to be funded by January 30th. Listen, what you said, Becky, is absolutely correct. Government shutdowns are designed to exact pain in exchange for a policy concession. And the hundreds of thousands of federal workers who are paid by the government, paid by the federal government, are it's just they are along for the ride, and it is difficult. And we've seen
Trump learned in the last when the Republicans shut it down. It's like not something that worked. Maybe it won't happen anymore. Can I ask you? I heard that there were many more senators they could have counted on, but like Senator Shaheen's not running for re-election. I think there's another senator that's not running for. So there's certain senators that don't have political. There won't be a hangover from what they're doing. How do they decide to do? They got exactly what they needed. So whomever didn't have to vote for it.
But that always happens, Joe. They always get exactly what they need.
How do they do it? Do they talk? Do they talk to each other and say, you don't have to do it. I'll take the flak for you. How many more were there?
Remember, I can tell you this. 2 of the people who voted for it, Dick Durbin and Jeanne Shaheen, are not running for re-election. The rest of them are up for re-election in 2028 or 2030. So they don't face voters for some time. That is eons away. Who knows how many of those people run again, et cetera, et cetera. So they were all in negotiations over what they need to get to yes. And all of these folks, to a person, they were sick of the shutdown. They think it didn't work. Tim Kaine, who just won re-election in Virginia, decided that the several 100,000 government workers didn't deserve this anymore.
In Virginia.
By the way, I do not know whether there were a bunch more. I don't. Now, I just don't. I'm not sure that's correct. I mean, I'm sure if they absolutely needed it. Remember, Schumer is against this. Schumer is going to vote no. Brian Schatz, the next Senate Democratic whip, the next number 2, and probably the next number 1 at some point, is going to vote no. So the top of the party is no. And by the way, this is going to be very messy in the House of Representatives. We're all forgetting, or at least I needed reminding, kind of, that Republicans have 219 votes in the House. They can only lose 2 to pass this. Hakeem Jeffries is a no. His leadership team is going to be a no. The default position for House Democrats is going to be a no. This is going to look very, very turbulent in the House when it gets there Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday.
When they bother to come back to work.
Yeah, they've been out for 50 days. It's one of the I'll say this. I mean, having covered this stuff for, as long as I have, 16 years, this is the most obscene thing I've ever seen, that they've been out of session for 50-something days as the shutdown has dragged on. They would have, I think.
And by the way, they're getting paid for all of this.
Correct. Constitutionally, they are mandated to get paid. Yes, they are getting paid.
There's your first problem. You want to make it tougher? Stop paying them. You want to make it tougher for government shutdowns?
1,000%. They wouldn't have continued if they were not getting paid, probably, or would have been much quicker. But Joe,
Yeah,
what you
it's
said
just-
is right.
it's just the
These
little
things
people they expect to
never
not get
end
paid.
well. They never end well.
Absolutely. Yeah, they shouldn't get paid. If they're choosing to shut the government down, they're being paid by the people to do a job. If they're not doing the job, they should not be getting paid the people's money. Period. Right? Jay, you think it's a good time to get in on Janction? I would wait for a pullback personally, my friend, not financial advice. We saw what happened with World Liberty Financial when it launched. A bunch of people were buying the top. I said it was going to crash. People got mad at me for saying it, and then it crashed. And then people bought in lower, right? Here's my offer. Nothing. Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping all altcoins will be, kind of ending the altcoin season sometime around the end of February to the middle of March. I'm hoping that's how it plays out. So, yeah. All right, guys, I got some coaching calls to get to over on the Patreon. Get over there, book your coaching calls today, or join one of our group coaching calls. I also dropped a new trading video over there this morning for our trading group, so check that out. And I'll be uploading the DCA portfolio video for that course a little bit later. Also, guys, all of our training courses are free to our Patreon members. You have access to all of it. So I will see you guys over on the Patreon. We also have Patreon Live tonight at 6 p.m. Central. So I'll see you guys there. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. I'll see you guys in the next one. God bless.